Okay, here we are, the Islington Academy here in London. Tonight, Diamond Head are playing. Gives me great pleasure to be here with lead guitarist Brian Tatler.
Thank you.
How are you, Brian?
Thank you.
And last year, you brought out the eponymous album, Diamond Head. Critics loved it. Great. How proud of it are you?
Yeah, great. I didn't really expect it to be as well received as it has been. You know, I mean, we just tried to make the best album we could. You always do. And you hope people will like it. There's no point trying to second guess in a way what people might like. So I think, you know, we just kind of had enough material, enough good material, and worked on it and got it as good as possible. And bringing in, you know, Raz, the new singer, was a kind of breath of fresh air, a lot of new ideas.
What's he brought to the band?
Kind of just new ideas and a bit of energy. You know, he's younger than myself. And
would you say he's totally revitalised the band?
Yeah, I would say he's contributed to the revitalisation. I don't want to give him all the praise.
Yeah, don't his ego get too big, do we?
No, but it's definitely made a big difference, and his vocal style just so suits the band so well. It's just a match.
So by calling the album Diamond Head, he was making a statement with that.
Sort of. The main reason was we couldn't think of a better title, and we had that discussion. We had lots and lots of titles, and we didn't like any of them. Nothing seemed to fit. None of the song titles seemed to fit, and we kind of wanted something that kind of encapsulated where we were at that moment in time, but we couldn't find the right title. And Eddie, our bass player, suggested, well, we could call it Diamond Head, or we could call it Diamonds, which is one of the songs.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I thought, it's not a bad idea, you know. And I thought, bands have done it before, called themselves after their album title. Yeah. So we went with that, and we thought, you know, unless somebody can come up with something better, that's what it's going to be. Excellent.
And it came out on the Dissonance record label, which seems to be like the new neat records of 2017. You know, they get a lot of new metal bands, they get a lot of the old school metal bands like yourself and Vardis and reissuing like Hanoi Rock's back
catalogue. That's right, yeah, they're really going for it, aren't they, with the rock and metal scene. So it's great. I mean, it's good to be part of it. There's a lot of energy and enthusiasm, you know, in the label and the catalogue.
And obviously that's a major help when a label is 100% into the music.
Oh, totally. I think that, you know, we came along with our album just at the right time when they were looking for, you know, bands and product, and we got the deal done really quickly, and it's been great. They've helped push it a lot, and we've had a lot of good press from the album. Got it out all over, so it's been really good. It's a good relationship.
And a lot of people would say, "Oh, Diamond Head is a new lineup." People like Cole Wilcox has been with the band since 1991.
Indeed. So you know, he's been there. He's done a lot of work. I mean, the original drummer Duncan was only in the band for probably 6 years or something like that, and Carl's been in the band however many years, 25 years or something. So it's a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of gigs. So, yeah, it's not just a revolving door.
Exactly. And let's go way back in time. You know, so when you first started the band, you were still a school kid. You named the band Diamond Head after a poster on your wall, Phil Manzanera album. Have you still got that poster?
What I did was cut out the name, so I didn't keep the poster.
All right.
But I cut the name Diamond Head out, and I thought that's good, and I stuck it on the wall. And I thought that'd be a good name for the band, and at the time it was just me and Duncan, the drummer, and we thought, well, that's it, that'll do. And I think a couple of people suggested other names at the time. I remember somebody suggested Cobra, and we had a couple of crap names, but I always thought it was a very positive name, Diamond. I thought it's hard to say anything negative about a diamond. So it just stuck, and I'm glad we did call ourselves Diamond, and I think it's a good name.
Who came up with the logo?
So that
came like a couple of years down the line,
didn't it? It's changed a few times over the years, but the main one with the swords, I think, was originally a sketch Sean did, and then he gave it to our fan club guy, Dave Garrett, and he drew it into the proper shape, and we've been using that logo in various forms.
I think that's quite an iconic logo now.
It is, it's great. It's a really strong logo. I'm very pleased with it. You can just put that on a t-shirt and away you go.
Exactly, yeah. And you know, whenever you hear the name Diamond Head these days, it always gets associated with Metallica, and I'll get onto that in a minute. But when you first started, people were billing you as the next Led Zeppelin. Was that a lot to look up to? Was that sort of
Indeed. I think it was just
like rabbit in headlights kind of thing?
It was kind of youthful ambition. It felt like Led Zeppelin were my favourite band and a band to look up to, but it seemed like that stopped, because they did stop in 1980, didn't they?
Yeah.
Just when Diamond Head was sort of coming through, and then we got signed in 82.
I suppose you come from the Midlands as well.
Yeah, probably. It might have been a little bit of wishful thinking, a bit of, aim high, and in our naivety, we probably, alienated a few people who thought, forget it, you'll never touch the Zeppelin catalogue, which is pretty mighty. I haven't seen a band come along really who's rivaled Led Zeppelin for me.
But saying that, you did make a major impact. Like, of all the unsigned bands out there, you would like full-page adverts in the press. You were selling that Hammersmith Odeon.
Great.
We sing, the singles and the first album, the White Album sold.
We had some incredible press. A lot of the top journalists like Jeff Barton and Malcolm Downs. Really
Dave Ling's first reviews, yours.
Yeah, really believed in the band and thought we could go all the way. But that's another story.
And obviously, I think your most famous song would be "Am I Evil?" And there's about 3 or 4 different time changes and riffs in there. So how did that song all come together?
That's hard to explain. It does seem like songs like that are very hard to write. I don't think I could do it again. It all starts quite simply with one guitar riff. Usually, I would come up with a riff or something and we would just build and build and build. And the song grew into a 7-minute, 40-second sort of epic. We wanted to write epic songs. We're listening to bands like Zeppelin and Rush.
Did it all lead into each other, or was it 2 separate parts, separate songs?
It was pretty
much
together?
Much
add-on.
Yeah.
You'd have one bit, and then I remember coming up with the intro, and then the solo was a completely different bit, and we'd just kind of think that bit would work nicely. Then we could go back into that, and over a good year, we built that song from a simple guitar riff. So it takes a lot of time and it's very brave to do a song like that. I realise because it's not the norm. People stick to the beat, don't they? They put it down on Pro Tools and it's all on the grid.
And even before it, because we re-recorded it for the Living on Borrowed Time album, but even before then, it was like voted in the top 40 of Kerrang, the best songs ever.
It was.
It was up there amongst the greats of Deep Purple, Sabbath, Zeppelin, and then there was Diamond Head. So what did that mean to you at the time?
That was amazing. I mean, especially at that point, I don't even think we'd got a record deal.
No, you didn't, no.
And we were in with all the big bands, your AC/DCs and Zeppelins and stuff. And so people just must have seen there's something in that song. It's a great song. I still love playing it now after all this time. It still sounds good. So it's definitely got some magic in there, some chemistry.
Obviously, Metallica recorded it for the Creeping Death B-side. What was your thoughts when you first heard it?
Yeah, I was flattered. That was my main thing, because nobody, of course, had covered Diamond Head before. And so, to us, it was still Lars's band. They were on Music for Nations. He sent me the EP, Creeping Death, or the 12-inch single. And we were just flattered. And I was amazed that they'd worked out the solo and every little detail. It was great. It was like a fan, wasn't it? Paying attention and making as good a job as possible. It was a bit heavier than ours, a bit tougher, but it was great to hear. Who knew that they were going to be around for the next 30 years?
Because even then, they weren't that big as such, weren't they, at the time?
No, they were small. They'd not been to England, I don't think, at that point.
I think they played a marquee, I think. But anyway, obviously, most Diamond Head and Metallica fans will know that Lars Ulrich come over here as a young 14-year-old boy. Do you remember him as a 14-year-old?
He was 17.
Oh, 17, sorry.
Yeah. Do I remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, he stayed at my house for a week.
Right, yeah.
Slept on the floor, slept in my brother's old sleeping bag, and then he stopped at Sean's house, slept on the couch. We took him to gigs. We took him to 3 gigs with us in the back of the car.
How did he originally get in touch? Because obviously, this before the internet and whatever, so it was good old-fashioned fan club through the post. Yeah.
We put an advert in Sounds, like a quarter-page ad for the album, the white label album, and then he sent for his copy over in Los Angeles, and then wrote back to the address, saying how much he liked it, etc. And then he must have arranged to come over when we were touring, and he came to the Woolwich Odeon, found his way backstage, and we took to him. We thought he was a very enthusiastic uber fan, and he knew all about the new age of heavy metal, and he was collecting records, and so we just thought he was.
Did you ever let him have a go on Duncan's drums?
No, he never asked.
Yeah.
We did. I didn't know he was a drummer. I mean, I think he was probably. I mean, this word doesn't apply to Lars very often, but he was probably too shy. If you know what I mean. But he never mentioned it. Not once did he say, "I play the drums," or "I'm in a band," or "Can I have you go on your drum kit?"
Excellent, good to know. Eventually, you did. I say you brought out the Lightning to the Nations White Album, whatever you want to call it. What would you call it yourself, actually?
We called it Lightning to the Nations because it was in a blank sleeve with a blank cover. Everybody started calling it the White Album, like the Beatles.
Yeah, fair enough. I've always called it the White Album myself.
But because it was in a white sleeve, everybody called it the White Album.
Yeah. So you got the record deal with MCA in '82. You brought out the album Borrowed Time. We recorded Am I Evil and Lightning to the Nations for that album. And thankfully, some of those tracks are coming back into the set list, like Borrowed Time.
Oh yeah,
great track.
Yeah, it's got such a big chorus. We decided to bring it in a while back. We thought it's I'm all for a good chorus, so that one seemed an obvious choice, really. And, we don't do all of it. We do a section of it. Same as Shoot Out the Lights. We've brought that back in, and just recently we've been doing Sweet and Innocent.
There's one song you've not played for years. Is Don't You Ever Leave, the bluesy number. Don't fancy that one?
I'll tell you what, we've sort of gone a bit heavier.
Yeah.
Because of the marketplace, the huge metal scene, we kind of tailor the set a little bit more to that crowd rather than call me, run, making music, out of phase. We did dabble in the poppier, sort of rockier choruses at points, and I think that market is a little more fickle and a little bit harder to pin down.
Yeah. That's like the next album, Canterbury, you did sort of branch out. There's a few more commercial elements in there. Is that an album you're proud of?
Yeah, absolutely. But commercially, it wasn't. It didn't sell as many copies as Borrowed Time, and the record company. We had spent more money on that album than we had on Borrowed Time, and so of course the graphs go in the wrong way, and it's probably one of the reasons we were dropped from MCA in '8.
Well, when did it exactly start to fall apart? Because I say Duncan and Colin left the band.
Well, Colin left.
When did the rock first settle in?
Was fired during the making of Canterbury, which was horrible, and then I think it just all became a bit fractured. Really, we were kind of losing our direction. There's a lot of internal problems.
Did you become disillusioned with the business?
Second?
Did you become disillusioned with the business?
I just probably didn't understand it, really. I think it's easier when you've got, big management behind you. And we had sort of amateur management. We had this guy who put some money into the band, Reg Fellows, and Sean's mum. And of course they'd never done it before, so they were learning on the job, didn't know the people, the contacts, had never been to America, so it was all a bit I'm not sure the right word to use, but we kind of floundered, and so by 85 we pretty much run aground.
I say you did make a comeback in your band. I think Radio Moscow and Diamond Head come back.
Well, I'm a professional musician.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly,
I do. So I was in no way I was going to go back to being a car mechanic. I do what I can, to keep going, and I'm glad I did. So after 40, I've been playing over 40 years, and I can still play, fortunately, and so I still enjoy it.
Good.
So I'll just try and keep it going.
I thought there was like an infamous sort of comeback. You played with Milton Keynes, with Metallica and Megadeth, and a couple of else was on the bill that day. Didn't exactly go the right way though, did it?
No, unfortunately, it didn't go as well as we'd have liked. We were probably underprepared. Got a new bass player, etc. New album, so.
So I saw you a few days before at the Camden Underworld.
Yeah.
Which was actually a great gig.
Right. Can't remember much about that. 93, wasn't it? Can't remember much about it. I remember I was ill. I ended up with shingles and all that. So I was at one point I was in hospital with pneumonia. So
oh wow.
Not fun.
Let's talk about happier times of touring. You toured like the likes of AC/DC and Iron Maiden, at the height of their breakthrough of their fame, you could say. What were those tours like for you?
There weren't really tours. Maiden was one date at the Lyceum, London, and AC/DC was 2 dates at Newcastle and Southampton. But both, great. I mean, we were such big fans of AC/DC, so to do the support with them was just incredible. And we'd go and watch them.
Of course,
watch them. Fantastic.
Would you watch them from the side of the stage, or did you go up front?
Well, at Newcastle there was a balcony, so we went and sat up on the balcony by the lighting rig. And funnily enough, they'd forgotten all the gels for the lighting rig, so it was just white lights, just white, and it was extremely hot. Yeah. But it was electric. They were fantastic. Then we did the last 2 ever gigs with Bon Scott.
Wow, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Who knew?
Did you speak to Bonds much?
A little bit. He gave a bass player a bottle of whiskey.
Right.
Here you go, mate.
Best present ever from Bond. And before I wrap this interview up, you're playing next year, you've got some dates.
Yeah.
With Saxon, actually.
Indeed.
There's also Rock Goddess and Magnum on the bill, one of them.
3 in the UK, Hull and Cambridge and somewhere.
Yeah.
And then we're off to Europe, we've got some in Germany and stuff like that. So we've not really done a tour with Saxon before.
But I was about to ask you that, yeah.
We've done some festivals, but not a full support.
What about Rock Goddess?
No, never even seen Rock Goddess.
Wow.
So that'll be nice
Yeah,
to meet.
A bit prettier than Biff and the boys.
I guess so. I can remember looking at pictures of them in Kerrang and stuff.
Excellent. Well, looking forward to that. I'll be there at that show next year. So, Brian, all the best for the future. And I believe you're working on a new album for next year, are you?
We are. We've done everything except we've done about 3/4 of the vocals. Yeah. So we've got to finish the vocals, mix it.
Brilliant. I look forward to that. All the best for the future.
Thank you.
Brian's been a pleasure. Thank you.